My name's Holly Davies, I'm a manufacturing engineer and I work in the aerospace industry. I have 4 A levels in maths, physics, business studies and music. I didn't get the results that I was predicted for my A levels, so I took a year out and did a year's work experience through the Year in Industry scheme, and I worked at a ductile iron pipe manufacturers for a year. And it was unlike anything I'd ever done before. They were melting ductile iron, so it was really hot, noisy, dirty, but I really enjoyed it. From there I went on to study mechanical engineering with renewable energy at Edinburgh University. And during my degree I did a lot of work experience still, so every summer apart from one I think, I did work experience at different companies, and that was paid, which was quite nice. As part of my degree you had to do some work experience in the 4th year. It was a 5-year degree, so I did mine at Rolls-Royce, really enjoyed it, so I applied for their graduate scheme when I was in my final year of university and got on to their manufacturing engineering graduate scheme. Traditionally people think of engineers as people who wear boiler suits and hard hats and maybe fix cars or build bridges. And if you looked up the definition of an engineer, you'd see it described as somebody who invents, designs or builds complex machines or structures. Actually, engineering is so much more than that these days. You could work in so many different industries. To name a few, you could be working in robotics, in the space industry, in the medical industry, sports or even fashion and film. There are 2 main routes into an engineering career. The first is an apprenticeship and the second is a university degree. An apprenticeship is where you learn whilst you're working, so you will be paid to do a job. They will teach you most of what you need to know whilst you're there day to day, and then they might also release you for maybe a day a week or a day a month, depending on how the company do it, to go to a university and study for a degree as well. So you are working and learning and being paid at the same time. For a university degree, you go to university and you study, you get your degree and then you go and find work. There are differences between the 2 approaches and you'll just have to see what works for you. What does a normal day at work look like for me? I'm a manufacturing engineer, but I'm also a technical specialist, and my specialism is in measurement, so I support our business and our manufacturing facilities on any measurement issues they might have, any technical queries, problem solving, and I also look at the future technologies and anything that we can bring into the facility to reduce costs or improve efficiency. Normally when I get into work I will check my work email, see if there's anything urgent that's coming overnight. I will also check my calendar to see what meetings I have planned for that day. I run quite a few projects myself, so a lot of those meetings I will have organised and I'll run, but for some of them I will be invited to as a specialist to support those meetings. Those meetings could be face-to-face, they might be on the manufacturing facility shop floor, or they might be in a meeting room in the offices. They could be by video call if they're with people in different countries, or just a simple phone call. I might then also spend part of the day talking to different colleagues in the office in different functions. So I might go and talk to one of the design engineers to ask them a question about the parts that they've designed, or I might go and talk to the digital and data guys if I've got a question or an idea for how we might better use the data that we're getting out of our machines and maybe put it into an app on people's phones or something similar like that. Why would I recommend engineering as a career? I think engineering is such a varied profession to get into. You could be working in any of those industries that I mentioned before, plus more. It is a well-paid career, it's a well-respected career. There's still something quite nice about saying to somebody, I'm an engineer. There are lots of opportunities to travel, and you could be creative in an engineering job, you could be doing a lot of data analysis, you could be leading a team of people, or you could be very specialist on one particular subject. In terms of advice, I'm going to link 2 websites below. One of them is thisisengineering.org.uk and the other is tomorrowsengineers.org.uk. The reason I'm recommending those 2 sites is because you can pick the areas that you're interested in, so that might be sport or fashion or gaming or cars, and it will show you some examples of real life engineering jobs and the people that are doing those jobs today. There's also some advice about getting into engineering and the qualifications that you need. In terms of other advice, I would say be curious. Engineering is a lot about problem solving, so always ask questions, and don't be afraid to say, oh, I don't understand, could you just explain that a bit further for me? I would also recommend getting some work experience if you can, whether that's a week somewhere, just a bit of a taster, or something a bit longer, particularly as you go further through. If you do choose to do a university degree, try and get some work experience during your summer holidays, because studying engineering and actually working it are very different, and whilst studying it you understand the theoretical side, you might find that you really like being in an office environment working with people. I know I certainly do. So work experience is really good for understanding what you might like or not like in a job. How do YouTubers do this? This is so hard.